Welcome, everybody. I'm Stephen Curtis from AWS, the developer track chair for today. Thank you for coming to Hall D, and I'm assuming there's developers, but others are welcome as well. You can observe. I have the great pleasure of introducing the next three speakers. They all come from companies that are titans in their respective industries. And the topic, you'll know just by the title, it's something that is equally large as their impacts. Please welcome to the stage Marcus Olson from Varjo, Max Bickley from NVIDIA, and Sean Collins Lopez will be part of the Q&A from General Motors.
All right.
Cool.
Great.
Yeah. Hey, Marcus.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Hey, Max.
How's it going?
Great. It's really good. It's super nice to be here.
Yeah. It's been awesome.
Augmented World Expo. It's been 4 years since I was here, and that was when we launched the XR-1, the world's first photorealistic mixed reality headset with a video pass-through. And that was quite a show, and super nice community here, so really nice to be back. And this time, we're here with Max from NVIDIA, a senior product designer at NVIDIA Omniverse.
Yep.
And later, we will be joined by Sean from General Motors, who's a visualization specialist at General Motors, and he will be joining us for the Q&A. So if you have any questions later, save them for the Q&A. Is that better like this, or? All right. Okay, we'll go with this. Yeah, so we can go forward with the, or is there a clicker? Is there, that one. All right. So yeah, for those, so we're here today to talk about the work we've done together, getting Omniverse to running in mixed reality. So seeing real-time ray tracing in mixed reality and how that applies for the car industry. And for those who don't know about Varjo, so we are a manufacturer of the world's most highest fidelity mixed reality headsets. We're based out of Finland, and yeah, our primary focus is enterprise, and we are working with the highest demanding use cases in enterprise, such as training of pilots, training of astronauts, and also car designers. So as they pivot from, or transition from using clay models to design in the physical world into digital native tools, such as designing cars in virtual reality. So you could say that we have most of the major car companies, or actually all of the major car companies using our headsets. And you could say that we are becoming a gold standard for designing of cars. And in the same way as we're a gold standard for pilot training. And and it's actually with the first mixed reality headset that or the first virtual reality headset with human eye resolution that we launched in 2016, the VR1, that our partnership with NVIDIA became really important, because with that launch, we were pushing the boundaries of what was possible with when it comes to rendering for virtual reality. And with every new generation that NVIDIA has been launching of their GPUs, we've been able to push this boundary one step further and creating more resolution for our users and higher fidelity, crisper images with higher performance. You could say that this is a continuation of that. And it is the work of NVIDIA's GPUs, the hardware that they have, that is empowering, together with our innovative hardware, our headset, that creates this mixed reality experience where it's impossible to determine what's real and what's virtual. And it is with customers such as General Motors that we are finding our way to partner with Omniverse to create ray tracing in mixed reality to the new levels. And how many in here has tried our mixed reality headsets? Quite a lot already. All right, that's great. So you know that this headset is a headset that actually really matches what your eyes are capable of seeing. And those who haven't tried it, I'd encourage you to come by our booth. It's in 1042 to try it out. It's still not too late. I think we're on the show floor tomorrow as well. So this headset has 2 cameras in the front that has very high resolution, and it's channeling the world around you into the display. So it's called video pass-through. That makes it possible for you to see the real world in a very undistorted way with a very, very low latency, down to 20 milliseconds. So I've actually been driving a car with this headset, and that's how low the performance, the latencies are. It's very hard to perceive with the human mind. And it also has a LiDAR sensor that senses depth, so you can see how your real hands are layered on top of virtual objects. And it also has built-in eye tracking that enables you to render more pixels where you really need them, so foveated rendering, which we'll talk about later. And it is a video pass-through device, and it is, as you see here on the right side, much wider field of view if you compare it to an optical see-through device, such as illustrated here on the left side. So this is the real magic, not the leapy kind of magic. This is the sort of really crisp, detailed pictures where the objects really, you can see the reflections and you can also see the shadows, because one thing that you can't do in an optical see-through device is create black, total black. But we are basing our headset on a VR headset, so you can actually create shadows. And actually the name Varjo, our company name, means shadow in Finnish, which tells you that this was the plan all along. And of course, the wider field of view and the crispness is a big difference. So with that, I'll leave you over to you, Max, to talk about Omniverse.
Awesome. Thanks, Marcus. Let me take that clicker from you. Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Max. I'm a product designer on the Omniverse team. I'm so excited to be here today with Varjo and GM to talk about what we've been up to. I want to take a minute to sort of talk to you about Omniverse if you're not familiar. It's NVIDIA's platform for developers to build really high-end applications, to design, prototype, and develop digital replicas before they go and make the physical product or industrial warehouse that they want to then build in the real world. Omniverse is not really just a single application, but it's really a network and a shared OpenUSD database that's designed to sort of bridge together major applications and tools. And we've had a really exciting couple of years to see our ecosystem of connectors grow. And we've also been partnering with some of the biggest ISVs like Adobe, Autodesk, and Siemens to bring their data into Omniverse and into OpenUSD. So in one way, sort of connecting one ecosystem of tools to another ecosystem of tools is sort of building this network of networks, and it's growing at an amazing rate. There's sort of 5 major building blocks to an Omniverse application. There's Nucleus, which is sort of our data backend that allows users to share and collaborate on their data. There's Connect, which is our API that powers those connectors between applications and bringing their data into OpenUSD and into Omniverse. There's our amazing PhysX and RTX renderer for doing real-time simulations and rendering. And then all of this is built on Omniverse Kit, which is essentially our way for developers to quickly assemble applications from our library of extensions and also develop their own extensions so they can deploy custom apps inside their enterprise for their use cases. And then all of this is built on OpenUSD, which is Pixar's open source file format that was really built from the ground up to allow users to not only collaborate smoothly and effectively, but to also build just incredibly rich and complex worlds. So for the past year, we've been holding an open beta of Omniverse Create XR, and it's really been our first crack at delivering kind of a first of its class ray tracer running at a speed fast enough for today's modern VR headsets. So if you're not familiar with ray tracing, if you haven't seen ray tracing in VR, it's a completely different experience than a rasterized render. All the lighting is physically simulated, all the shadows are modeled correctly, and then all the materials and reflections are stereo accurate. And so all of this leads to a super photorealistic experience. And then more importantly, none of that data is baked. And so now you can move all of this information while you're in VR all of your shadows will update, your lighting updates, your material updates. And we think that really kind of brings a level of flexibility that VR has been missing for a lot of these other kind of real-time experiences that tend to be optimized kind of down towards lower compute. On the Omniverse team, we really want to try to scale out to maximum compute to kind of give that flexibility. And so all of this today comes as a separate app, and we also have a streaming app for iOS. But we'll be winding down that app this summer, and I'm excited to announce that the XR portion will become an official extension for Omniverse Kit. And really what that means, what this slide demonstrates, is if you're building a Kit application, with our release later this summer, you'll be able to plug XR into any Kit app that you've been developing. So we're really excited for this release. We're really excited to see what kinds of experiences our developers start to build now that they can just add XR to anything that they've been making. So here's some quick links if you want to learn some more. We have plenty of tutorials and training out there. You can go download Omniverse for free and check it out. And then we have lots of sort of community around this that's building up, and I hope you'll join us. So what's been exciting is that the ray tracing portion of this is kind of one piece of the puzzle. And so we have been working really closely with Varjo to bring that real-time ray tracer up to their human eye resolution. And so being able to see something at that type of FOV and that type of resolution with all the benefits that you get from a ray tracer, we're going to show it to you, and it does not even compare to what it looks like in the headset. But it's been very exciting to finally scale this up to something with this much fidelity. So
Great.
Marcus, yeah, tee us
So
up.
what do you say, Max? Should we bring out the popcorn?
Yeah.
Have a look at this video?
Yeah, let's check it out. What
Yeah.
are these graphics cards
Exactly.
in the foreground here?
They're brilliant. We're so happy to be partnering with NVIDIA. We get hands on their latest graphics cards. There are two RTX 6000 ADA cards running in parallel as dual setup.
Awesome.
And that was what we used for recording this. So let's play the video.
Great.
And this is shot in Varjo headquarters here with Samuli in our team is trying it out. And yeah, you can see soon that the car, the Chevrolet Blazer, all electric vehicle here. And you can see that these things here that are shot through the lens are unedited. So you can really see that the car really appears in the real world here. And you can see that you can stay in touch with the real world and through the video pass-through system. Yeah, and what do you say?
Yeah, and so this environment lighting on here is fully ray traced. All the shadows are fully ray traced. The car paint, all the PBR materials, and the refraction through the glass. And this car model is incredibly complex. It's almost 50 million triangles. But thanks to ray tracing, we're paying the cost of ray tracing, which allows us to really direct those rays to only render what we need. And so a super complex model like this that has tons of internal geometry and tons of really, really complex CAD data in there.
There you can see the shadows down there as well.
Yeah, those look great.
And you have also the reflections from the real room are reflected. So the reflections from the office is showed in the paints as well. And here is the interior as well. And soon you'll be able to see the LiDAR, where you can see hand occlusion as well. And yeah. And there you go. This is the depth system working. And yeah, I mean, this is great. What do you say? What do you think? Yeah. It's pretty nice. It's amazing seeing this in the headset. And yeah, so we've been partnering and getting hands on early versions of the ADA card, and we're now able to play around with it. The frame rate was really good. We got like 45 frames per second. This is an old slide, actually. I think we were supposed to have the frame rate for the A6000. I think it was around 30 or something.
25 to 30,
yeah. And then when you have a dual setup, you have the 65 frames per second. So it's really, from our perspective, it's really scaling with the number of GPUs.
Yep.
Yeah, and next slide. So yeah, going forward, what are we going to do next?
Yeah, so what's been interesting working with Varjo and working with our ray tracer is that a ray tracer gives us a lot of benefits that we can plug right into with their hardware. So we're currently working on integrating their eye tracking, their quad view, and this is really going to allow us to scale our ray tracer to take advantage of all these additional foveated optimizations that we can do. So whereas before, and maybe a rasterizer, all you can do is sort of reduce the resolution at the fovea, what we can do is just shoot less rays and thus incur sort of less computational cost at the fovea and in those extra views inside the Varjo. So we think that's going to work super great, and we're really excited to get that in there.
Yeah, super excited. Also, the real-time capture of the world. So right now in this video, we had a static image, but what we're going to do next is connect the cameras in the video pass-through that can create a real-time map, a cube map that can be used to reflect, so that when you're changing the lights in the real world, it will be reflected on the virtual object. So that's super cool as well.
Yeah, and we think that's going to look amazing with ray tracing. That lighting is, again, just going to have all that really accurate shadow fall off, that really accurate reflections and refraction.
Yeah, and then a lot of other things like multi-user things and integrating Varjo markers. So there's plenty of opportunities for collaboration in this as well.
Yeah, it's going to be super great. We have an entire live collaboration workflow built into Omniverse, and we're excited to sort of plug that in to what Varjo has.
So when are the people going to get their hands on this?
Well, we're working really hard right now. We're super busy, always busy at NVIDIA, but we're really hoping to have those features wrapped up later this summer. And so look for it then. We'll make a big splash about it.
Awesome, great. So with that, I think we should invite Sean Collins Lopez, who's visualization specialist at General Motors. So welcome on stage.
Hey, Sean.
Thanks, everybody.
Great.
Awesome. Any questions? Gosh, it all just made that much sense. Okay, great. Yeah.
Like, this is all well and good with a tethered headset, but do you guys see a future for, ray trace rendering going to like wireless devices, pretty quickly?
I think, we both have our cloud rendering services. So Varjo has a Varjo Reality Cloud service, and Omniverse also has.
Yeah, we have our Cloud XR service, and so yeah, we've been working really hard on that, and yeah, streaming a ray traced version of Omniverse to a headset is something that most folks can do today, and we're certainly looking forward to making sure that can run on any hardware that might come out.
Oh, come on. This is the most packed the room has been all day. There's got to be. Don't be afraid to ask. There we go.
Yes, I was wondering about the A6000s. Are those set up in NVLink? Oh, sorry. Are those set up with NVLink, or is it in an SLI setup?
No, none of that's with NVLink or SLI. So Omniverse is set up to just really take great advantage of however many GPUs you can fit into your box and utilize them correctly for the rendering.
So if we went with 4 GPUs, assuming we could do the cooling, you would get an increased frame rate?
Yep.
Okay. That's great. Thank you.
So I have a question for you, Sean. Like, what's your experience you've been trying this out from General Motors perspective. What's your feeling about the technology that Varjo is bringing and that NVIDIA is bringing with Omniverse? How does it?
Thank you. Yes, no, I've been working with Omniverse for about the past year, testing it at GM and seeing what it can do with the high fidelity. I mean, anybody here who's been in this industry for 10 plus years know the holy grail was real-time ray tracing in a headset. 2 years ago, it was 8 frames. Now, I actually finally got a setup running even before I had an ADA card to test with, and I got it 45, 50 frames in a headset. So it's a game changer. It's not a small leap, it's a big leap. And the biggest thing is, that video didn't show it, this is great, we did the evolution. I've been doing it without the MR mode on. So I was testing it with their other headsets, your Aero headsets. And I actually had some ADA cards to test with, and it was nice I didn't have to put them in SLI mode or anything else. So these experimentations where we're going is very exciting for this kind of software to push that high quality to one of the highest quality headsets on the market and getting that high fidelity. And that's what I've been playing with and testing with for like the last year. We're very excited to be partnering with both of these companies over many years, more than just 2, and getting this kind of work and move forward, especially with all the MR features coming out, not just in the VR mode. And my favorite part of it, which wasn't show up there, they have a great teleporter, and it's blue, and you can put it around. You see all the live reflections, exactly what you're talking about doing with the scenery, but that's kind of how I've been testing it, and seeing the interior and having the doors open and close, or quickly changing materials, or you can have someone live linked in another session in Omniverse with USD, and they can change it for you, and it'll update. But then the biggest part of this that we're looking at is time saving, right? I just talked to somebody on the floor today. 20 years, the whole industry has been worked on doing what? Optimization, gaming optimization, tricks, smoke and mirrors, how to make it work. This is physically accurate representation of the data. No smoke and mirrors. You said 50 million visible polygons? It's more like 80. I tested 200 million visible polygons. There is no, ray tracing doesn't have to be optimized. There's no B-sides removed. There's nothing there. That car has a complete battery system and every single nut and bolt underneath it. We pushed it and tried to stress test it. So that's the biggest push that we're looking for, is like, I can not only have all my data, get it into VR with the highest fidelity headset and real-time ray tracing with reflections, shadows accurately represented, but faster, because I don't have to optimize. So that has been a real eye-opener for us, and that's why we're testing it and really interested in the automotive industry.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of pre-work sometimes with some of the heavier CAD models that you have to do a lot of optimizations before it can run with good performance, but that is a big difference. That's great. Any other questions? There's one over there. Yeah.
How you need to know something about the lighting, for example, if you're using LED light versus incandescent bulb versus candlelight, how do you deal with that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, our headset has a built-in automatic white. The question was about how do we deal with different light situations, and our headset has a built-in automatic white balance. So like a normal camera, you can set that, but you can also lock it. So like many of our customers in a controlled environment, such as a design studio, they do know the color temperature. So then you can go into Varjo Base and change that, so you can lock it. And yeah, but with the also with the changing lights, if you have a daytime coming in through a window or something like that, then it will, once the real-time reflections are implemented, then it will also reflect the changes of the lights in the car. So that's kind of. Yeah, I mean, if you know the light source, if it's a controlled environment, then you can just type in the color value in the lighting.
Thank you.
And there's the lady here.
Just curious for GM, how do you plan to use this beyond product development? Is there a plan to bring this kind of experience to the consumer?
That's a good question, to get it into marketing or other areas. We're testing and looking at Omniverse throughout our entire workflow. Like we said, it's not a software. I don't even want to call it a platform. You called it a network, I think, which is probably the best way of putting it. So we're starting there and seeing how far it can branch out and touch into. Not just design development, but the bigger part of our business, which is the engineering development, Glare and glare, other areas that really need real-time reflections in a headset, which doesn't really work with our current systems. We want to get it all the way from, and that's why we're interested also in the USD side of this. That's the other big thing, which is kind of a single source of truth that can come all the way from a first clay model sketch and be used at the dealership. And that's where we're also looking at this. We'd like it to get all the way downstream as it can, but also work all the way through the system. So we're looking and experimenting with all of it at this point.
And that's also sort of why we've built Omniverse as kind of a kit of parts that you can use. USD is that, again, that source of truth underneath all of it, but you can pick and choose which of the runtimes are best for your use case. So today, Sean might have a use for just some parts of that, but then another part of GM might want to finally start to use the RTX render to do some of the marketing or publicity or stuff like that. And again, all of that's available to just sort of plug in on top of that existing data.
We're really looking to maybe go to our configurators, online configurators, and use it that way so we can make quicker updates. If you're configuring and it's not baked, you can actually make the changes and you're seeing the live RTX changes in real-time ray trace. So the configurator would be more of an example of where we'd like to try it out to, which you're looking for at the marketing side. One more back there.
Yeah, are you running DLSS or are you using really large textures for models?
Well, the textures are pretty big. Yes, so really at the core of making this ray tracing possible at the speed that you need for a headset, all of our denoising tech is really at the core of it. What's great about that is we can continue to teach and train our denoiser, and it's continually getting better. We'll be rolling out improvements to it this summer that, again, will just be a flip of a switch and quite a giant leap in fidelity. So yes, the DLSS is absolutely at the heart of this. You can certainly run it without it. It's not going to look quite as smooth and pretty. But then working with Sean, it's been great to sort of see the use cases that they have of those extremely fine details that you might see in a car interior are really pushing the limits of what we're able to denoise. And so again, that's what's great about this collaboration is it's just really pushing us to get that fidelity as high as we can go.
Yeah, and it was nice to see the new ADA cards using the DLSS3. Like the generation before that was 2, and there's been a lot of other softwares, and this is the first time I got to test it, and it's starting to make those incremental leaps forward. So they're making great progress. Like I said, I can't wait to see when the final software comes out myself and test it. So.
Thanks. Let's give them a round of applause.
Great.
Thank y'all.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.